What's going on, everybody? This is Blizzard, back with another video. This is kind of an impromptu. I'm gonna get this out of the way. This is kind of an impromptu video. I know everybody's excited about 4th of July deals coming on tomorrow, and I just wanted to take this time to make a hopefully quick video, just saying, do not make purchases through the store over a public network. I'll make this clear. I'm saying public network, not private network. You want to do it at home, I haven't seen anything wrong, but over public networks, there are some serious security issues, some not as serious that I found. This is going to be a pretty dry video. Because I'm just going to try to explain it all to you. It's one of those things I don't want to show you because that leads people to do it themselves. But essentially, when they came out with the store, I did a set of, I used some penetration testing tools, and found some vulnerabilities. So I'm going to kind of break this down and go from like most severe to least severe, I guess. So the most severe thing that they have done in this store is they have a lack of what's called a strict transport security header. So you see, if I click on this, you see how it says this little lock thing right here. All right, so that's a HTTPS site. It's a secure transport protocol. Then they go in the back end of their site and they allow non-secure connections to be made. This would be essentially, and I said this in a line chat, essentially like if you had a lock on your house and you left a window open. That's stupid. Like, it blows my mind that that's not fixed. It's an easy fix. And they're also using an older version of what's called TLS, which is, you know, the transport layer. But so that's the first reason. And the reason why this is important is it exposes you to what's called a man-in-the-middle attack. So essentially, if you're on again, this is all public network. If you're on a public network and you're sending data, because they don't specify the secure layer in between website to server, they can intercept your data, and then they can either send back whatever they want or they can not send it back. But the main thing here is credit card information. That's the main thing, and login information. So that's sin number one. Sin number two is they are using a wildcard certificate. So the certificate is just basically what defines something as saying, hey, you are what I say you are. So like if I tried to send something to to MCOC server, I wouldn't have the right certificate. They would say, yeah, you're not me, and they would kick back with a get fucked. So what wildcard certificates are is for every subdomain of a URL, they will have the same certificate. That doesn't sound like a bad thing on the surface level, but it's kind of one of those things where it's fine for security until somebody gets that certificate, and then as soon as you, with a wildcard certificate, if somebody gets that certificate, and it could be a man-in-the-middle attack, it could be something else, they have the keys to the kingdom. That's essentially what, like, and by keys to the kingdom, I mean access to the entire thing. So I know MCOC uses Xsola. Kind of took a little, like, you can do this on your own. But if you have Chrome, you can go to developer tools and you can see, hold on, more tools, developer tools. We're going to go to sources. So you can see they use Xsola as a backend. And you can also see that when you log in, I'm pretty sure. I actually don't want to log in. But, so they have their own certificate system on the back end of that. But all that doesn't matter if MCOC doesn't do it right in the first place. So Xolo can do all they want, and they actually do a really good job of data certification. But if that makes it doesn't matter at all if on the front end it's not being done correctly. The third thing, now we're going to get into a little bit of even more techie. Sorry, but they've left themselves exposed to both a MIME attack and a breach attack. I'll leave links if you want to. I don't want to make this video too long. So MIME attacks, they're browsers which kind of handle this now. Like I said, we're going from most severe to least severe. So MIME sniffing is where you can do cross-site scripting. Essentially, they can inject code into different scripts, which can then do various things. They can access your computer. They can access, again, your the web server information. Breach attacks are a little bit more complicated to describe. Essentially, they can't see the information, but they can see how it's being compressed. So they essentially just forgot to put a deflate header, and deflate defines how HTTP handles compression in their data sending. So they can't see how it's being the data inside, but they can see how it's being compressed, and if they look at this for a long enough period of time, then they can kind of come up with an assumption about what is contained. It's, again, I'll put some links probably to the best sources I can find to where you can look all this up on by yourself. That's about the best way I can describe it. And then the final one is, I want to say it's still serious, but it's one of those things where it's very user dependent. It's kind of a phishing attempt. So they didn't specify an X-frame options header. And so what that leaves you open to is what's called a clickjack. So clickjacking is essentially where someone will put, someone has the option to put, let's say, an invisible button on top of a button. So if I go here and let's say I'm logged in already, and I go here and I click $49.99. What a clickjack is somebody has gone into the web page, intercepted that web page, and then put an invisible element over this. And so instead of clicking on this button that says $49.99, I'm instead clicking on an invisible element, which will then redirect me to a web page that looks extremely similar, and then someone's just logging your information as you put it in. Again, that can be very serious because obviously they're getting your information, but it does require user input, so it's kind of on the lower end. You have to be phished for it to happen. But the fact it's one of those things. It's so easy. Just put the header in there and it's no longer an option. So it's just kind of baffling to me. There's a couple other less serious things in here. I'm not going to waste your time. Again, if you want to go look these things up, I will list them. I'm just going to do a final breakdown. Again, order of most serious to least serious. We have a lack of an HSTS header. The web store uses a wildcard certificate. It's vulnerable to a MIME sniffing or cross-site scripting. It's vulnerable to a breach attack, which is HTTP deflation, and then it's also vulnerable to clickjacking. So I'm gonna, hopefully I didn't run too long. We're about 9 minutes right now. To sum it up, be on a private network when you make these purchases. Please, kabam, if you're seeing this, please fix these things. It's very serious because people are on public networks when they're inputting their information sometimes. So I'm gonna leave you with that. Hopefully you learned something. I'll see you later.